This is FSD 12.6.1. So Tesla has decided to branch the vehicles that have hardware or Autopilot hardware 3 in them away from the vehicles that have Autopilot hardware 4. So while FSD version 13 dot whatever is out, that only applies to vehicles with hardware 4 at the moment. Folks with hardware 3 like me get 12.6.1, which right now, as I understand it, is only available for Model Y, Model S, and Model X, with Model 3 to follow probably in a week or two, if I had to guess. A lot of the enhancements that we see are largely getting like end-to-end neural nets on the highway. So we are going to do a little bit of highway driving. This is the Lakeland and back loop, and I'll use the highway going both there and back in order to work out the highway end-to-end stuff. So I do have the profile set to average. Interesting. The profile is set to average. The speed offset is set to 15%, which means here I should be going closer to 48, 49, which is about where we are. This is the first time that I'm driving on the highway with this version, so we'll see how that goes. Using the right scroll wheel, I can't actually change the profile, which bothers me just a little bit. Using the scroll wheel to speed the vehicle up or slow it down in the upper corner is where the max is, and then it goes away after a little bit, which I'm also not fond of because you're hiding information. So if the car is dragging at like 45 miles an hour, I don't have a quick way of saying how fast should I be going in this area, you know? I did do a great big 3,700 mile drive over Christmas break, albeit that was on the older version. But there were some anomalous things that happened on that trip that are important to keep in mind. When driving at night, if there's not enough light, you won't be able to engage FSD in rural areas, and that includes on the highway. I was a little off-putting for my wife. She was driving at one point, and once she got on the highway, she was ready to turn on FSD, but it failed to do so because of insufficient light for the pillar cameras. So at that intersection back there, we went towards the middle lane. That works. Personally, I don't like it because traffic will typically file into the right lane or the left lane, and the middle lane will be for the people who are in a hurry. And what you end up with is people in the right and the left lanes will both try and get into the center lane. So from a safety standpoint, it's better to go to the outer lanes, because that way you're going to be more assured that you're not going to end up bumping into someone that's trying to rush and get into the center lane before you. So it looks like tree trimming crews are out to make sure the trees don't take down the power lines this hurricane season. change lanes, but there's a truck coming really fast. There we go. I do appreciate that it didn't cut the truck off, though. So it has been a while since I did one of these videos, and that's largely because it's been a while since I've gotten an FSD release. So once I get on the highway, I get my my profiles back, and which profile it is shows up in the upper left corner. My wife is not going to like that at all. Also looks like they've removed the ability to set minimal lane changes, which that one I find tricky because I normally adjust the profiles based on traffic conditions. So in traffic like this, standard is fine. In high traffic, I will typically set it to chill. And when we're not moving much, I'll disable the lane changes so that it doesn't try and cut somebody off or something. Or make poor lane change. Like if I'm a half mile from my exit, I don't need to get out of the right lane. That's where I would turn on minimal lane changes, is because I know it might do that. And then on the old assertive, now hurry setting, I would just leave minimal lane changes turned off and let it roll. So not changing lanes here, probably the right call in my opinion, because I am getting off in a mile and a half. With the way traffic is moving and the speed that I'm going, I could get in front of the semi-truck. But the overall net time gain, yeah, see, I'm not sure I would do that. See, now there's two semi-trucks. Oh, that's gonna suck to come back to. So this lane change I actually would not do. And the reason I would not do this lane change is because this lane ends once I get on the toll road. And it creates an interesting situation because it's a short opportunity to change lanes over, right? So if there was traffic to my left, which there isn't right now, but there is a truck not too far behind me, that means I gotta wait for him to move over, right? So here we see the lane ends. So in this instance it works out, but I've had other instances where I end up like straight parallel next to a car and it's just not worth it. Now here's a car on the right in the on the shoulder. Florida law says we have to get out of the right lane. The car does it, so that's nice to see, and it gets back over again. That was really nice. So this truck, I'm probably going to end up blocking him. So the right thing to do would be to get over. Nice. It's actually interesting that it's making the maneuvers on the call-outs. That's it's interesting. My hands haven't been on the steering wheel since I turned on FSD. My eyes obviously locked on the road. I will say on my 3,700 mile road trip, I did run into one instance where it just straight turned off autopilot on me, and that was in northern New York, approaching Fredonia, New York, or however you pronounce that, on the way to Erie, Pennsylvania. Lake effect snow was coming in, and the snow was falling and the rain was falling just enough that I guess autopilot must have thought it was looking at static, because it was the snow where when you're speeding into it, it looks like streaks, which honestly is where I would have loved to have autopilot the most, but I'm guessing all that snow just confused the system, so it gave up. And honestly, that's fine. In those conditions, the roads are going to be kind of crappy anyways. As we approach this toll booth, nobody's behind me, so I'll let it do whatever it wants to do here, but we want to make sure that we're staying in the left lane, which we are not doing. Okay. That needs to be improved. I'm okay going through at 50 miles an hour. That's about more normal to what a human does, so that's fine. Historically, when we get past the thing that combines the lanes here, it tries to change lanes into the right lane. We do not want to do that. We want to stay in the lane that I'm in right now. And then as we approached the left turn, there are 3 lanes that turn left. We need to be in the center left turn lane. The right one works too, but the rightmost left turn lane ends, so we don't really want to be in that lane. We want to be in the left, in the center left turn lane, just like that. I am a little under the weather at the moment. The wonderful thing about having kids is the things they bring home from school. I might, when I get to the destination and park, I might try and do the Target thing and see how it handles that. That was not done right. So the lane markers went away because they are resurfacing the roads, and what ended up happening is I should be in the lane to my right, and because the lane markers went away, the car decided to change lanes into the left lane, which obviously created a scenario where the vehicle in front of me had to scoot its way in front of me. Thankfully, there was enough room for all that to work out, but that should not have happened. Admittedly, the lane markers are gone, so I can understand how the car got confused, but it should have been tracking the car in front of me. And again, I need to be in the right lane. Looks like there's some random debris in the road here. Oh wait, what are we doing? Oh, poor baby. You want to park, but you're not allowed. Well, you are successfully going around the box. Why are these random boxes in the road? I wish I could take credit for planning that far out in advance, but no. So 12.6 is limited in that it doesn't concatenate the commands, so it clearly wants to back into a space, but they've nerfed it to where it can't. Which is just funny that it keeps trying to do it. I can park here? No, I'm not allowed to park. Okay, that's enough of that. That's funny. Let me go find a real parking space to park in here. Alright, so not all of these spots are parking spaces. There's a bunch that's hashed out. The car seems to identify them as parking spaces, though. Let's do an auto park in this space. That's actually not bad. That's kind of almost a human speed there. I could go faster, but that's actually honestly not bad. So... yeah, see, it still thinks... it doesn't know where it is. Alright. So I'm going to stop the video here and then start it again to take a run at the target at the Hardin intersection and see how it handles that lane. That'll be a separate video. This one will be a one, but a pause like here, and then there'll be a separate one. Okay, so just did the target video. I'll post that separately. So the navigation here is incorrect, right? I'm parked in a spot where it seems to believe that I can go out this way, but there's clearly a fence there. Like, you were never really supposed to go that way in the first place, but now they've really said don't go that way by putting up a fence, so I straight up can't go that way. Realistically speaking, all we need to do is go straight and take a left. What has been happening is the car will either turn left or right. I think it'll turn right, and then once it gets to this side of the parking lot over here, it's going to then plot using this road, which sets us up wrong, and then when we get to this intersection it tries to take a right, which is wrong. We want to go left. Right works, but left is ideally what we want to do. So we're going to put it in drive, and we're going to turn it on and see what it does. Again, ideally, jog to the right, go straight. And apparently we do nothing. Okay. See, the directions it keeps trying to do are not possible. Oh, what are you doing? This is not an option. So parking lot level data really needs to be done better. Oh, but you're not allowed to go in reverse, so you're stuck. Okay. Slowly turning the steering wheel, but there's no way out of this. Alright. So we can call that a disengagement, whatever. The core of the problem here is that parking lot level data is bad. It seems to believe that I'm on that road over there. I'm not. I'm over here. So the end result is that it fails to get out of the parking lot. Now, what's interesting to me is the car seems to clearly believe that it can shift in reverse, but it's not being allowed to. And I think the ability to shift in reverse is what will make it version 13, right? Like, you're basically, Tesla's versioning right now seems to be, if you're version 12, we can't concatenate the commands, but if we're version 13, then we can turn on FSD from park, and we can go in reverse while in FSD, and all these functions are concatenated. And it seems like 12.6 wants to do all the things that version 13 can do, but they haven't actually massaged the connections together. And I don't know what it'll take to get there, but it feels like the logic is all there. They just need to turn it on, which leads me to believe that hardware 3 probably can run version 13. They just haven't gotten there yet. They need to, for lack of better phrasing, they need to dumb it down a little bit. So I'm going to turn on FSD now. And it needs to wait for some traffic on the left to clear. I'm going to miss a green light. And then there's traffic on the right it needs to wait for, because turning left here sucks. Okay, yep, we're good to go. But unfortunately, we're going to miss this lovely green light. That sucks. Alright. Technically, I don't want to be in the left lane either. In the long run, the rightmost left turn lane is ideal here. Oh my gosh. So we are going to... Okay, yes, I want to go on I-4. So that should be correct. So next up is going to be getting onto the 570 toll road. So we'll drive south on Hardin. This is frontage road, if memory serves. And then once we zoom right in here, so we'll get it. We'll end up in the rightmost turn lane. Turn right. The right lane turns into a lane. And we need to go 1, 2, 3 over and immediately take the exit. Now, how the locals do it... Let me get back over there. How the locals do it is literally what's on the map here, right? We get into the... We angle ourselves, we stop, and then once all the lanes of travel are clear, we go straight. There has been a time where FSD has been able to successfully... change lanes from the rightmost lane to the leftmost lane, but lately on the last few versions, I guess I gotta poke the screen more. Lately on the last few versions, it's not able to complete all of the necessary lane changes in time. The other problem that we run into is when it gets to the toll booth, it sees the 25 mile an hour speed limit sign and it sticks to 25 miles an hour from just before the toll booth all the way to about here-ish. So we'll call that a quarter of a mile before it finally gets around to saying, okay, well, I can go from 25 miles an hour to 75 miles an hour, which ends up making you an obstruction. So again, here we want to be in the right lane. The car is accelerating. We should be able to get in the right lane. But frankly, we should have started in the right lane before we even made that left turn. We'll probably change lanes after we cross the intersection. That was nice. It did not suddenly brake for the yellow. I think the 12.5.4.2 would have done that. So the downside to this is I no longer have traffic behind me, so I don't have anything creating pressure for successfully making these lane changes. So technically this could be construed as like optimal conditions. This light's red, which means cross traffic should start being a problem. Cross traffic is moving. So again, if you're looking in the camera, at this point I just want to go straight across all the traffic. And I'm just going to keep my finger on the screen so we can kind of see what's coming. We're clear all the way across. Good. Now, as we approach the toll booth, we can drop to 25, that's fine. Most locals stay at 40. But once we go through, we want to be back up to speed. So there's the drop to 25. But we're staying at 40. I can live with that. And we're slowly getting back up to speed. Okay, so that's fine. It's not perfect, but it's better than what it was. Wipers are still meh. Go ahead and disarm them. There we go. So as we approach the Tampa Orlando split here, both of these lanes go to Tampa, but human-wise, you kind of want to be in the left lane since this lane ends. Otherwise, you're forcing people to want to let you in and whatnot. So let's see how we do here. Okay, so now there's nobody behind this truck, so we'll get over, so that's okay. These are not high traffic situations, so I'm getting a lot of for lack of better phrasing, we'll call it easy wins. There was nobody behind that pickup truck, so I was able to gracefully get over. But when we get onto I-4, we'll probably start hitting some traffic. I feel really close to this truck in front of me, and I don't like how close I am to this truck. If that truck got into an accident, I do not feel like I would be able to stop in time. Now I feel more comfortable. Jeez. Sorry. So this idiot has decided to not use the lanes correctly. Oh, look at me. Yep, let me over. I'm going to go ahead and get over way further from where I would be if I had just stayed in the damn lane. Idiot. So this is a good spot to change lanes here, which the car recognizes and is going to try and do, but the red pickup truck has decided to be a dick and not let me in. The wanker that he is. And the car that was behind me has decided to take that pocket and not let me in. There we go. Okay. I will allow this lane change. I have nothing wrong with that. And honestly, I would probably get over one more lane, but this one's probably also okay. Come on. Get over one more lane. You know you want to. Okay, so I did not feel like I was going to brake in time. I could feel FSD applying the brakes harder to stop in time. I did not like how close that was getting. And frankly, had it changed lanes like I was expecting it to, probably never would have been an issue. So I didn't like that. It may have in fact stopped in time, but it's my car, and that did not make me feel comfortable. So on the highway, it doesn't seem to like coming to a complete stop very much. So I'm going to assume the main reason it has not gotten out of this lane is because I'm getting off the next exit. So they've probably adjusted the logic where on standard it's okay to stay in this lane for a longer period of time. There's nobody in the right lane. Personally, I would just go ahead and get into the right lane now. But it seems like the logic of waiting until you're 0.5, 0.7 miles to target is probably still there. So I'll probably see it change lanes in about 0.5 miles. So again, anytime, good time to change lanes. We're starting to lose our window to change lanes. And now it's no longer a good time to change lanes. Historically, this is when it would want to try and change lanes. So now was a good time to change lanes. But I would have made much better time had I changed lanes much earlier. So the off-ramp logic is better. Here's that piece of something I almost hit the other day. I don't know what that is. I've got a video posted on X and on Reddit that shows there was this great big piece of white thing across the exit lane, and I missed it by like 2 inches. I had to do an evasive maneuver, and I missed it by about 2 inches. From a get ahead of traffic standpoint, technically I could get into the rightmost lane and use the instant torque to get ahead of traffic, although I guess I wouldn't have worked with that white car there. Because heaven forbid they get in the right lane to start with. I guess going north, the blinking yellow wasn't really a problem. Going south, I can feel the brakes pulsing a little bit. There's a guy running across the street with a box. Was it a box? No, he lost a box of strawberries. Oh, somebody's gonna get damaged product. So speed limit's 45, I should be going about 50, I'm going 44. I can feel the cars behind me stacking up. There's a car on the right that has opted to get out of this lane to get ahead of me. The car that's behind me is also going to get into the left and go around me. self-storage lot, and then they aborted and Circle K took it over. So, as a whole, I definitely see improvements in 12.6.1. It feels better. The navigation and planning is where it seems to come apart at the seams a little bit. In that it doesn't always get into the best lane before where you need to be. And you know, that's all navigation data stuff, and that's one of the pain points that's been there for a while. I did have to do a disengagement on Interstate 4 because it did not feel like it was going to brake in time. I genuinely felt like I was going to hit the car in front of me there for a little bit. So it's just something to watch out for. It'll be interesting to see how long we stay on 12.6.1. Ooh, I did not like that. That is not good. So that's filled in at the moment, but normally that's a great, big, huge, gaping pothole, and that's gonna suck. Because I don't need to worry about whether or not I'm gonna end up in that pothole in the future. Damn it. So, but yeah, for the most part, big, huge improvements, little regressions here and there, which is to be expected in every version. Hopefully they continue to release improvements. I am hopeful, based on what I've seen, that version 13 is almost definitely possible. They just need to tune it more. So it'll be interesting to see how far forward we can get here and how fast. But yeah, thanks for watching.